Hi everyone, I'm Riley. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to tell you guys some of the pros and cons of teaching with ZebraEnglish. Now, if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would like and subscribe so that you can join me here to learn more about succeeding as an online ESL teacher. So let's jump right into the video and start off by talking about some of the pros that come with working with ZebraEnglish. The first thing that is a huge plus with ZebraEnglish is that it's quite flexible. And I say this because ZebraEnglish does not require any minimum amount of hours or anything like that. So it's really up to you how much you want to open your schedule. And another reason that it's flexible is you can do it from anywhere. You can do it from your house. You can do it while you're traveling. As long as you have the internet and things that you need to meet their requirements, it really is flexible as far as time and location goes. Another thing that I really like about ZebraEnglish is that it's still a relatively small company. And so with this, I just feel like it's a bit more personal. You get much more personal communication. You get to know some of the Chinese staff members by name, as well as the North American teachers. You get to know them by name too. And so that's one thing that I really appreciate about working with such a small company. Along with that, I find that they're quite easy to reach, especially when you're actually teaching and you need to contact the fireman. You can use the fireman button in your classroom. And if you can't even get into the classroom, they will also contact you via Skype. So there are two ways to get a hold of their firemen, and I have had nothing but great experiences when I do run into issues with my app. Another thing that kind of goes with this is that we are actually able to communicate with the parents. Now, ZebraEnglish does not want us to have these relationships over WeChat with our parents, but if you do have a message that you need to relay to the parents or the parents need to relay something to you, ZebraEnglish will actually serve as the middleman and relay that message via email. Another thing I love about ZebraEnglish is that they really do listen to their teachers. And while not all changes happen instantly, they do happen, and ZebraEnglish does care about them. So for example, teachers were unimpressed with the fact that we had to write all of our words backwards. Personally, I didn't mind that at all, but lots of teachers didn't love that. And so ZebraEnglish listened and they actually changed that. Now, we are able to just write our words the right way and everything is mirrored correctly. Another thing that just shows that ZebraEnglish really listens to their teachers is how they dealt with feedback. When they first rolled out parent feedback a few months ago, teachers were not impressed because that was a feature that they hadn't particularly loved from other companies that they'd come from. And when ZebraEnglish heard about our concerns, they kind of met us in the middle, and I actually think they have a pretty good parent feedback system that works in the favor of the parents as well as the teachers. Now, another thing that I love about teaching with ZebraEnglish is that the students are generally much more prepared than they would be on another platform. Now, this is because the students are already working through the app, taking their AI classes 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, and they basically come to us to review and to practice and to extend on the things that they've already learned. Now, of course, it's not always like this. I do have students where I regularly have to teach them the vocabulary and teach them the sentence frames, but for the most part, my students come to class quite prepared to use the vocabulary, so we can actually have pretty good conversations with each other. Another huge pro to their system is just consistency. Now, with ZebraEnglish, like I said, the students are working through that app 5 days a week. And so just like those things are scheduled, their class with you is scheduled. So they will meet with you at the exact same time every week for basically forever. They are your regular student. And so that's one thing that's really wonderful about ZebraEnglish. You don't really have to worry about a frenzy or trying to market yourself. The bookings are there once you get your regular students. And another pro to that is that you really get to build those relationships with these students because you do see them every single week. It's very predictable, and so you can really build off of what you talked about last time. You don't have to wonder if they had another teacher in between your last class and this one, because you just know that you are their regular teacher and they meet with you at the same time every single week. Now, I sort of hinted at this already, but this is another pro for many people, and that's the fact that with ZebraEnglish, you are not booked by the parents, you are booked by the system. So you don't really have to market yourself to compete against other teachers. ZebraEnglish themselves will book your trial classes using an algorithm, and from there it's up to the parents to decide whether or not they want to continue taking those live classes with you. So if you do want more details about how bookings work here at ZebraEnglish, please feel free to check out this video. But overall, that's one thing that I know teachers really like, is that you're not really trying to market yourself and sell yourself to your students. The system chooses you for them, and they will pair you up with students as they have trial classes available. Another thing that I really love about ZebraEnglish is the Zebra coins. ZebraEnglish does not require a secondary reward. All we do is we use the Zebra coins that are built in with the platform. Now, we do also celebrate with our student and give some stickers and things like that, but you are not responsible for trying to rack your brain for new ideas for secondary rewards to keep your students entertained. It's just expected that you will give out the Zebra coins in each class. Along with that, ZebraEnglish also doesn't have very high expectations when it comes to props. Now, they certainly do welcome props, but they don't have sort of a minimum requirement of how many props you need to use. Instead, they focus much more heavily on the TPR and on actually getting your students involved with the TPR so that they can engage their whole body in the learning experience. Another big pro to ZebraEnglish is the pay. You will start off with an $8 to $10 base pay. For new applicants, they only offer up to $9. That $9 to $10 range is reserved for raises, but there are a bunch of great incentives that you can get on top of that. And if you want to know more, you can check out this video right here. So those are some of the pros of teaching with ZebraEnglish. Now, if you are currently teaching with ZebraEnglish and you have other things that you would like to add to that list, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And I would also love to hear from you if you have more cons about ZebraEnglish that you would like to share. So the first con that I want to mention is also to do with flexibility. So yes, it is relatively flexible because you can choose how many time slots to open and you can choose where you'll be teaching from, but it's also running on Beijing time. So for people who live in Canada or the US like I do, it can lead you to teach at really odd hours of the night. I know I often will be waking up at 2:30 or 3 in the morning to teach my classes because the peak times are of course when children in Beijing are home from school and able to take classes. So that is a bit of a con to pretty much any online ESL company that works in China. Another negative to ZebraEnglish is that they do not have a phone app. Now, they have done different things to kind of compensate for that. They'll text us when we get a short notice booking and when we have a series of classes approaching, but there is no phone app and no way to check your bookings without actually going to your computer. Now, there also is no iPad app, so the only way to teach with ZebraEnglish is to have a laptop or a desktop that is compatible with their platform. Now, another negative to ZebraEnglish is just that you will get a ton of emails when you start working with ZebraEnglish. They email you every time you get booked for a class, every time a student cancels a class, when your class is coming up in 15 minutes, like you will get tons and tons of emails. So you really have to be on the lookout, checking your spam folder and your inbox and regularly emptying it out because you will get emails for basically any update, which can be a bit of a pain if you're like me and you like to keep your inbox as clean as possible. Now, there are a few sort of cons to using their actual platform that I want to mention, and the first one is that it does take a bit of guts from your computer, and so it requires more time to load. There will be a bit more transition time between the slides, and especially when you're hopping from one class to the next, it can actually be a bit of a tight squeeze because sometimes the classroom will not load as quickly as you want it to. Now, if you're finding yourself in the same position and you want some tips for how to transition from one class to the next faster and have less IT issues with that kind of thing, please check out this video here because I have found some tips that have helped me kind of cope with this. Another negative thing about their app is that when you enter the classroom, your camera and mic are automatically on. So I never want to be seen by my student right when I enter the classroom. I like to enter the classroom, cover my camera, and then turn it off as quickly as I can so that my student hopefully doesn't notice that I'm already there, and then I only reveal myself when it's actually time to start the class. But that's something that is just a bit of a pain, that the camera isn't just automatically off when you enter the classroom. So those are a few of the cons about the actual platform itself. Now, overall, I do think that ZebraEnglish has a very user-friendly platform. Navigating the app is very easy, the classroom moves very smoothly, the games are pretty self-explanatory, so I do like most things about their app. It's just those few things that actually can be a bit of a pain sometimes. Now, another negative with ZebraEnglish is that while yes, it is quite flexible as far as you choosing when you want to open slots, there's also a lot of pressure for you to open those slots long term and consistently, because that's what ZebraEnglish has told us, is that their algorithm books us based on our consistent long-term availability. And so I know lots of teachers who struggle with bookings at the beginning, so they just open their availability for months out, which does make it considerably less flexible. So if you're used to being able to only open classes 1 or 2 weeks at a time, this will be a bit of a different feel. You can open classes 1 or 2 weeks at a time, but you may have a lower chance of getting booked because their system does look for teachers who are available consistently for the long term. Now, another scheduling thing that can be quite a pain with ZebraEnglish is that once you have regular students in certain slots, they will automatically fill those slots no matter how far out you open your schedule. So if you want to open your schedule for 4 weeks, but there's 1 week in the middle where you can't teach, you have to open them all manually. Otherwise, it will automatically fill those slots with your students, and you're unable to cancel without a penalty. So those two things kind of go hand in hand. The fact that ZebraEnglish automatically fills your regular student time slots with your regular students, and the fact that they do not have a generous cancellation policy. It's quite strict, so you really don't want to put yourself into a position where you'll have to cancel a class. So those are the few of the pros and cons that I've found in my time teaching with ZebraEnglish. If you have more that you would like to share, please feel free to comment below. And like I said earlier, if you found this video helpful or if you want to learn more about teaching ESL online, please come and subscribe to my channel so that you can stay up to date for lots of tips to succeed in the online ESL world.